Are you bringing him in here?
Who?
He's in the green room.
Oh, is he? Oh shit.
Oh,
Hey,
hey, hey,
how's
hey,
it
hey.
going? You good?
How's it
Just
going?
when I thought I was out, they dragged me back in.
What's up,
Man.
Jeff? Talk to me.
I feel like dog shit, man. I've been taking care. I just got back from vacation Monday, and I started taking care of this friend of mine who has all the has all the signs and symptoms. Today I woke up, I started feeling like shit, man. Ugh.
Man, that doesn't sound good. Are you gonna get tested?
How?
Good point.
Yeah. No, I'm just self quarantining. It's all right. Whatever. It's fine. I'm I'm pretty much strong as an oak. I live on whiskey and spicy foods, so it's not like anything can live in this body anyway.
I mean, hey, you deal with high levels of radiation through the majority of your younger years with like the skeptic community. So I mean, you should be able to deal with this quite fine.
I equate it to sewage actually. I made a video on my channel. I don't remember exactly when it was. I could find out, but I called it the septic community.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And like, so you got to really understand the whole situation. You have to understand, like there were promises kind of unilaterally made among each other, especially like leading up to Trump getting elected, that everybody kind of gave the Dave Rubin promise of we're gonna hold Trump's feet to the fire. Actually, that's Chris Hansen. Fuck, whatever. I can't do a Dave Rubin. Whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and really, nobody did except me and like a couple other people. And then slowly but surely, some of the bigger names did. You know, like Chris has spoken ill of Trump, and Shu has spoken ill of Trump. But like anybody who was more of a right leaning member of the skeptic community, a good chunk of them, especially the more popular ones, just fucking went water skiing, man. They absolutely fucking lost the plot. They went ape shit.
Yeah.
And it's really heartbreaking to watch it happen. But here we
It,
are.
it is weird because this was all going down. I was in like I think 8th through 10th grade. Like I'm 19, so it was weird
Sure.
because to me these were like the people I grew up with, and it was weird like watching like their content to an extent, and
Yeah.
watching just this slow decline. Watching even some of my friends like tell me about like, hey, do you see the Stephen Molyneux guy? He was like talking to this guy who got me introduced to this long like really like it's a rabbit hole. It's like it was insane like just watching like it slowly happening as I like backed away and like saw some people I knew just do the dive all the way there.
It was a strange thing to be participating in it as well. I mean, like, well, here's a good example. So, I met Dave Cullen once at VidCon.
Oh
Very
yeah.
first
Okay.
VidCon I went to, I think it was like 2017, VidCon 2017.
Mhm.
And he was very pleasant. He was very, very fun to talk to. He's very warm. Is before the whole Kilroy fucking thing. That's a whole nother bag of shit. But what I thought was really weird is, you know, I didn't agree with most of what he said, but you know what? It's his right to say it, and it's cool, and he's pleasant, and it seems like we're not really hurting anybody, or at least that's as far as I understood it at the time.
Mhm.
Um, but like in casual conversation, he brings up Stefan Molyneux, and I'm like, ugh, I don't dig that Stefan Molyneux. And for a second there, he actually wanted to debate me on whether or not Stefan Molyneux was a good person. And
Hmm.
for the sake of us sitting there drinking in a bar, I declined to have that conversation with him. But it was very strange to like hear that, you know. We're supposed to be the fucking good guys, and this dude's like, "I love Stefan Molyneux." Like, no, boy.
Yeah. It's weird because when I hear your name, Jeff, I
Uh-huh.
immediately like in my head what I associate it with is Sargon, is
Yeah.
Stephen Molyneux, and the rest of them. Like when I hear your name, that's the first thing that popped in my mind. When I saw you in chat, the first thing I thought was like either alt-right or skeptic. And
Oh yeah.
it's weird that like you're probably in here. I don't know what your politics are. Are you like a left-wing guy or right-wing guy? I don't know. But
I'm Go
that
ahead.
label to me is now kind of permanent. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand that. I understand that. I've never been right wing, never at all.
Mhm.
I've always been incredibly left wing. Um, Like I was fucking radicalized by punk rock, dude. You know, back in the day.
Mhm.
I'm an old fart, so I don't know. But like the what's really funny, there's one other really big dynamic event that made the difference, and that was internet blood sports.
Yeah.
And that was the big dramatic thing that I was very, very much a part of. Um and that changed the landscape of everything quite a bit too. Now, what's fascinating about it, and what actually worked out better in my favor, before that even happened, I had given up on doing political content. I didn't want anything to fucking do with it anymore. I was
Mhm.
disgusted with it. It was all a grift. It was all a fucking scam. Fuck it. And I went hardcore back into what I originally started doing, which was science. And so when the blood sports thing happened, every single person who was dedicated to only my political content left. They all unsubscribed. Massive purge. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people all unsubbing all at once.
Mhm.
And then I continued doing what I did, and I grinded and I grinded and I grinded, and I got exposure. I got on fucking TV, made the right connections, did that, you know, whatever. I'm now twice what I was before then, you know, and purged now, as it were. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that I can irrevocably like purge the memory of
Yeah.
my former associations. I just have to own them, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, it's weird because once you're on the internet, right, that shit is there forever. And I feel like sometimes people like you don't really realize how far reaching like a video is. Like when somebody sees like 30, 20, like 10,000 on a video or like 20,000 or 30,000, it's kind of hard to register like that's 30,000 individual people in the rooms watching you. Like that could fill a stadium easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so when your main like interactions for your earlier part of your career have been when these people, not only you and your own channel, it is not only your own views being broadcasted on your own videos that fill up stadiums, but then people like Sargon of Akkad and other people who are on podcasts with you multiple times a week, maybe once a month, to even bigger stadium, multiple football stadiums full of people. And then when
Small
you try
countries.
you have small countries basically. And then when you try to rebrand, like it's kind of hard to erase that memory or make people like it's impossible to make somebody forget that when it was literally not only watching you in a stadium once but multiple times with these people, because
But
that's how I remember you.
Counterpoint to that is it took a while. It did take a while. It took about a year. But I completely did rebrand. The thing about it is like nobody in the world gives a fuck about the skeptic community. Nobody in the world gives
No.
a fuck about the culture war. I like the actual sphere in which all of this exists, even the big names, is so tiny and insignificant. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a shit. If you legitimately try hard enough, you'll find another audience somewhere else. You just have to grind. You got to push yourself into it. It's
Yeah.
honestly not that hard. It's just having the will to do it. And that's kind of the thing that's really interesting about it is, you know, these people who get this idea, this over warranted sense of self-importance. And I know they do because I had it. I thought my farts smelled like fucking, I don't know, something that smells good. I can't think. You know, like I'm either Bidening or
The skeptic radiation is finally setting in after years.
That's right. Is this dementia?
Oh my
But
God.
yeah.
Oh god.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it's a weird thing to look back on. It's a very strange experience. But I don't know. I think that the big names on the right, and those that are left as like skeptics and the very reactionary, that sort of thing, I feel like their audiences are pretty static. They're very insular. They swap, but it is big.
Yeah.
But I have seen a lot of momentum for people pushing lefty politics, and that's good.
Yeah. The pendulum, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like so many people are now trying to get along really, really hard. People are trying super hard to get along. Like everybody now can agree, Christy Winters is a nasty skank. Fuck her, and she's a piece of shit. Yeah, listen. Okay, maybe not a skank. She's a nasty.
I wouldn't say that. You can say she's an unpleasant individual. I'm very careful with my words.
Okay, I'll say she's a nasty bitch.
Oh my God.
I've said a lot worse about Christy, and you gotta understand, Christy has said a lot worse about me and my family. So fuck her.
I understand that. It's just I work in an industry where I can't say that.
Okay, let's
No, that's fair. That's fair. But we can all agree that she's an unpleasant person, and it's really, really hard to have to deal with her, and that she's dishonest. So that's something that people can bond over, you know, even if they have very divisive politics amongst each other, or situations in which we disagree. There are things that we can actually bond over. I feel like people are more likely now to realize that 99% of the people on the planet do agree on pretty much everything, save for like the tiny, insignificant little tidbits here and there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say that like now it's gotten a lot weaker. It's gotten a lot short. It's just so weird looking back on all of this and seeing how much things have changed. Just generally towards like these, like all these creators that people thought were like the intellectual heroes, are just like no longer in existence. We don't even know what they're doing now. They're just channels are deleted or they haven't uploaded in years and they're just gone. And like people held these people up as like intellectuals when they were literally just arguing about video games and women being in them or black people being in them.
And Anita Sarkeesian was like another like figure of hatred, right? And like
People saw her as like the next like one of the like archangel or like one of the what's the word, like one of the four horsemen or something.
Yeah.
It was actually the worst.
And all she was really doing, looking back on it now, as someone who used to watch the videos dunking on her, all she was really saying is like, hey, look, there's some sexist stuff that happens in video games. You should probably be aware of it and maybe try and make it better. But you can still enjoy the video games. That's fine. But it was twisted in such a way that she became this like enemy number one, you know? Whereas in the grand scheme of things...
She was, to be fair, she was pretty annoying.
But
I mean,
yeah, sure, okay, look.
Looking back on it, like, right, as a viewer, right, I think a lot of it, right, was this hyper focus on one individual. And no matter what her content was, the amount of hatred, the amount of vitriol, the amount of what she got was completely undeserved. Like, I remember there's a few points that was like very valid criticisms of Anita. I'm already forgetting her name. Like it's
Anita Sarkeesian.
So Anita Sarkeesian. Like I remember once she was talking about the Hitman series, and she talked about how you could kill strippers, but what she didn't really expand upon was the fact that you actually got point deductions for doing so, and it was discouraged in the game. And they actually fleshed out the characters and like showed how like, hey, these people are actually being treated very poorly, and you're supposed to sympathize with them. And like, no, that's a really good criticism. But what that amounted to was 20,000 people emailing her that she should die and kill herself.
Well, I mean, if look, I have a different perspective on that at this point, and it's because of internet blood sports. Like I have a different perspective. I could both sympathize with Anita Sarkeesian, and I also de-sympathize with Anita Sarkeesian because I've been on the receiving end of the mob. I've had people dox me, send me death threats, send me all sorts of fucked up shit. So yeah, it sucks. I don't think she deserved it. I don't think anybody fucking deserves it. But I'm also like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not, because you know that's the fucking internet for you, man. It doesn't matter. I mean, I know people who are pretty hardcore right, and they get some nasty shit sent to them too. Like there's no area of YouTube that you're not going to find that kind of shit. Like, it's always going to be that way.
But if you, let's say like, but if you're like advocating for like an ethno state, right? Versus if you're Milo Stewart making reductive, slightly incorrect arguments as a teenager about transphobia. Like, who is deserving of, Milo Stewart, for example, I think would be nowhere deserving the kind of stuff that the ethno state person would get. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, you see, the problem is the word deserving. Nobody deserves any of it. Like what you have to then do is you have to try and find some sort of scoring system or a moral value, where one is more appropriate than the other. And I for myself personally, from a non-objective, totally personal stance, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. But I don't have in any way confidence in being able to say that unilaterally that's just how things should fucking be. I can only speak personally. So
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, yeah, this kind of feels. I mean, this is completely like not at all comparable. But when I actually, I think this comparison's so bad. I might no, I'll even say it. When you talk about like people, when people do bad things in war, right? A lot of the things I usually hear when like going through these documents, going through like the excuses given, one of the main things is like, everyone was doing it. If you didn't like it, it's part of the environment. It's kind of like integral to like what was going on, this massive thing. And people can only answer for their own actions, which is true. I mean,
Sure.
which is just factually true. I would just like ask you, right? When you were, and I'm not, and this is my first interaction with you, but this is
Sure,
wild
sure.
because I'm like talking to somebody I listened to in middle school, right? This is
That's
a weird
fine, dude.
experience.
It's all right. It's totally fine.
So, do you at all feel like that by you like connecting with these people, and while this was going, I mean, I don't know how long it took you to realize like, oh shit, some of these people like actually all right, or like bringing people to that area, or how do you, when that period of time was going on and you were still interacting with them, because there was a period of time where you were still interacting with these people who were definitely not, like you just told a good story about you interacting with, I actually don't know his name,
Dave Cullen, Computing Forever.
yeah, computing forever, right?
Mhm.
Do you at all feel like comparable for like, or at fault for like directing people towards those communities through interacting with them? Culpable, maybe. I forget the name.
Towards Dave Cullen.
Dave Cullen or any of the other people who,
Well, okay, so that hinges upon like your perspective of the Becca Lewis pipeline scenario, and I've spoken to Becca Lewis about this a bit in the past because my name shows up on that web. Do I feel culpable? No, not really. The reason I'd say I don't is you have to understand that there are so many ways in which people can fall into that pipeline. That pipeline can be found by literally watching people who are counter against those people. The algorithm does not in any way determine whether or not that person is pro or anti that person. If you watch enough Christy Winter streams where she's like shitting all over Sargon and Sargon's in the fucking title, that algorithm will send you to Sargon videos. Now, if I made a video where I was like, hey guys, I endorse Dave Cullen, which I think I might have mentioned him once very, very early on before I met him, to that, I could say, yeah, I might feel pretty culpable of that. Do I feel kind of culpable for some of my interactions and participations with Carl on his channel? That one's kind of a gray area. It depends on the circumstances. I tried really hard with Carl to maintain a friendship that just did not work. That's a very complicated situation for me. But I do get that question a lot. I get that question a lot from a lot of people, like, do you feel bad about your time being the skeptic community? And no, I don't. I feel like I am more pissed off at myself because the worst thing that I did on my channel was when I failed my own convictions. That's the worst thing I did. Because the only reason I started getting into this whole crowd and this whole genre was because of Tim Hunt and Matt Taylor. And these are both scientists, both who were publicly shamed, one of which was a knighted Nobel Prize winner who was fired for an out-of-touch stupid joke. I got into this totally on accident and totally because it fit into like my perspective. But the thing is, there came a point in time where I started doing things for views, not because they meant anything to me. That is the thing that I am most upset at myself over.
Do you have any examples of that?
Yeah, actually, I can tell you exactly that. I can tell you the fucking day I got out of it. I did a stream. I think it's still up, actually. I did a stream with Amos Yee.
Oh, I remember him. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I forgot he existed.
I know. And this is before everybody else interviewed him. I was the first person to bring him on and challenge him on his fucked up pedo views. And the stream, it was awful because I had to listen to this piece of shit saying all this stuff. And then at the end of the day, or at the end of the stream, you know, he's off. I'm offline. I go and I look at my Streamlabs and my super chats, and I realize that I just got paid to sit there and to my audience let this piece of shit say the most vile fucking things. And sure, I was challenging him, but I didn't do it because I wanted to challenge him. I did it because I wanted to make money. That's why I did it. And I was disgusted with myself, and that's the day that I fucking quit. I swore I'd never fucking do another video that didn't at least have something of merit to it. Fuck it.
Do you? I mean, people when they were originally engaging with AOC, if I remember correctly, there was some free speech issue with I believe it was the Singaporean government when he criticized religion of some sort. Which is like, if anything, at that point, I would consider him a hero, right?
Yeah,
the idea that somebody criticizes, I mean, even if I'm religious myself, if somebody else wants to speak out about whatever they think about any faith, that's their right. So at that point, it would have made complete sense if you brought him on to that. Was it for that reason, or was it for the reason of pedophilia?
This is after he came out with that whole fucking weird pedo shit, and I challenged him on it. I dragged him onto my stream, and I, you know, made him explain himself, and I admonished him. I wagged my finger at him for hours and hours. You know what? I probably made the best Anita Sarkeesian video ever, actually, out of anybody else. I made this video called Chest Hardhammer and the Temple of Sarkeesian. I did. So I found an old VHS tape of a Spice Channel softcore porn. And I took the scenes that didn't have like sex in them, and I overdubbed them and cut them in such a way that I made a little mini movie for about 6 minutes straight. And it's not actually about Anita Sarkeesian. It's all about them trying to summon the great spirit of Sarkeesian or whatever, something like that. At least I put effort into it. Like, unlike the rest of these dudes, just babble on streams all the time about her.
Honestly, I mean, if we're honest, they would upload a still image and just rant for like 30 minutes. Oh, wait, shit, that's what I do. But they would do it worse.
They didn't do it good like me.
Yeah, no. Well, to be fair, I commentate over YouTube video, play Minecraft, which takes a lot more effort.
Oh, I see.
Well, look,
so you don't have a rant Sona?
I don't have a rant Sona. No,
we gotta get you a rant Sona.
Okay,
dude.
I gotta ask, what the hell did that come from? Because when I was a kid, I felt like that was literally, if you didn't have a rant Sona, you were the weird one. That's what I thought. It was weird. Now looking back on it, it's some of the weirdest shit on earth. I thought somebody talking through the image of a blue dragon was a totally normal thing. Like how, and then of course the dude like uploaded that video, but still, the idea that somebody could talk through a cartoon character was completely just normal to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like I kind of want to be like the rant Sona hunter. You know, like there's so many cringe ones out there. And I'm just amazed that
you wanna mount them on your wall.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just absurd to me that people unironically did that, and people still do it to this day. They're still making videos of rant Sonas, and people aren't getting called out on it enough, and that's why I want to do it. You know, because it's like, Jesus, you know, like what the fuck? Some dudes, like, I saw an ANCAP superhero yesterday on stream, right?
Yeah. What was the name of that dude? Like, I think you put that out on Twitter, and I almost fucking
starving kids, man. Like, what was it?
Well, I said that his superpower, because he's like an ANCAP one, and I said his superpower was lowering age of consent laws. So
I'm pulling up, I gotta
and and yeah,
it's so fucking dumb, dude.
Honestly, when it comes to libertarians, the only AOC they should be worried about is age of
Liberty
consent laws.
Yeah. Liberty verse. You just passed it.
Did I? Liberty verse. Yeah, that was it. And
you were a slave.
And I don't know if we've actually spoken directly about this, Jeff, but obviously, you know, I kind of bullied Mr. Dapperton into deleting his channel, and then he's recently reopened it again.
Oh God. You know what's weird is like, okay, so that's another thing is I kind of know Dapperton a little bit. He and I have spoken here and there. He's never been anything very nice and kind and sweet to me. So like obviously I try to have the same in reverse. the thing that's just so off is what you got to understand about a lot of these guys is that there's a type of strange hostility that they have, or if they don't have, they're tapping into for their audience, and that hostility to other people who don't embrace and engage into that intoxicating allure looks really fucking weird, and to like the rest of society is kind of shitty and shitheaded, you know. But when you're in it, and a lot of people who join those types of communities, like for them, this is like a shared collective warm blanket of brotherhood. It's very weird.
It is. By the way, I'm looking at Lord Dapperton or whatever, Mr. Dapperton. Lord Dapperton, Mr. Dapperton's last video. It's literally just a cartoon. It's a ANCAP cartoon.
I watched that on stream yesterday. It is super cringy. But someone told me off because I was being mean to him. I added him and just abused him a bit. And then he actually DM'd me afterwards, and we talked for a little bit of IDM, which is a bit surreal. But in any case, I think the thing is with Mr. Dapperton now, he's kind of cringe, but I think he's moved away from more political stuff, and he's just going to do cringe cartoon videos with his friends. That's fine.
If that's the case, then it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just fun for him and his friends. As long as he's not putting out content that harms anyone. That's my concern. Like, my big issue with Dapperton is he released a video in which he called a trans kid the T-slur in the video title.
Not cool, Dap. Not cool, man.
And you know, and that to me was like inexcusable. You know, like it's one step beyond just being transphobic to an adult is bad enough, but to a kid, like that's just not on. You know, and that's why I went after him so hard in terms of deleting. You know, and he deleted his channel. But if he's just going to make cringe content, I don't really care. You know. That's my take on it. Hey, I've just pulled Dario in. Scuff Dario, how's it going?
Hey guys, what are you talking about?
We're talking about the culture war, mate.
Oh, the best topic. The bestest of topics.
Basically, that's like 99% of my stream.
Is this why you have Dylan in here? Like the Skeptic?
Yeah. I'm well-known Skeptic. We're making my Ransona right now.
Do you know...
Bootlicker Dylan.
Do you know Jeff?
Bootlicker Dylan, hell yeah.
Do you know Jeff, Dario? Do you know Jeff Holiday?
I don't know, maybe.
He was a big time skeptic back in the day. Big time skeptic.
I want to say I've seen like
he was a cartoon bear. He had a wife who was also doing content, I believe.
I'd recognize that voice.
Oh God! The thing with Bear, like obviously, you know, some of the content at least tried to be, you know, pseudo intellectual to some degree, right? But Bearing literally would just go onto his video and call everyone like a piece of shit and a cunt. Like that was
laugh at them,
and then just laugh, and that was it, right? Like there was no attempt to like debunk any of it. Normally,
but wait, what was ever like the concept behind like the skeptic community? I never understood. Was there anything?
Not really, no. I mean, it's not like it was constructed on purpose or whatever. It was just kind of a group of people who all found each other. A lot of it came out of like the whole Gamergate thing, I suppose. I wasn't around for that. I came a little bit after that. I didn't give a fuck about Gamergate. But you know, it was the name Skeptic Community was given to that group of people by not them. Like there was no.
But they kind of embraced it, didn't they?
I didn't.
Fair enough.
I don't really know anybody in specific who did. Like, and there was also periods where people were like the anti-feminist community, and you know, I tended to say I didn't really appreciate the anti-feminist label. I didn't feel like an anti-feminist. I felt a little bit like an anti-SJW to a point, but then like the term SJW started.
Women.
No, fuck no. I was super into women's empowerment. I just at the time, it was really easy to be like, the actions of some radical feminists are giving feminism a bad name, so I don't want to have anything to do necessarily with feminism. Instead, I'll just be egalitarian. That was the meme at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But like, but again, it comes down to a lot of people looking at things very differently, which is why a lot of people went different directions. Bearing, as we were just talking about, the whole thing that you got to remember about Bering is he does not give a shit. He doesn't fucking care. There's no point where you'll ever hear Bering giving a shit what anybody has to say or what anybody misrepresenting him. He literally just does this for money. And if you ask him, he'll tell him that. He'll tell you that right to your face. I only do this for money. People want this content. I make this content. They consume my content. I get fucking money. That's it. He didn't care.
The best part of the Bering arc was when, and I recognized this right when I saw his image because I watched the show as a kid. Total Drama Island sued him, or like the show that like sued him because they were using the bear from the show. That was the best part of the arc because no way any company would want their imagery like associated with whatever the hell Bering was saying. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was eesh.
Wait, so I gotta ask you, like, how, Jeff, like, what do you consider yourself now? Like, did your stances change dramatically?
No, my stances have never changed.
Okay,
I've always been left leaning. I still don't consider myself really anything. I don't consider myself like a feminist or not a feminist. It doesn't mean anything to me. My politics have always been socially liberal, economically libertarian, but that's not really working out because now I'm a hardcore Medicare for all kind of guy, so I gotta reevaluate all that shit. So I don't know, man.
but so you're like Armored Skeptic. You know him, right?
We've been acquainted before in the past. Yeah, I know Skeptic. I almost got into a fist fight with Skeptic once.
Oh, really?
No way.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah. It's an old story, but we made up the next year. The next VidCon we made up and we're friends again. So
okay. Well, I mean, it was honestly like I don't know if I would say a compliment, but like he seems okay now. I mean,
his recent video about the Joker was good. The thing is with Armored Skeptic, and this was something that sort of really was bad for the skeptic community, is that just dog shit reaction to Bill C-16 and the complete misrepresentation of it.
Yeah.
And I think
everybody did that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm being a bit hypocritical maybe because I kind of bought into it at the time, but then to be fair, it's because I was watching people like Armored Skeptic tell me it was a problem. And Jordan Peterson, and so on, you know.
Oh yeah, I think do I still have my video? I might still have the fucking video up on my channel where I was like standing really hard for Jordan Peterson.
Oh, cringe!
Yeah, I mean, we all know what happened like 2 years after, right? I mean, all free speech is dead, and we're all forced to like remember everyone's pronouns now, and like there's like tens of thousands of people in jail, and yeah, I mean, it all happened.
Yeah. Honestly, so have we decided as the American government to accept Canadian refugees yet from the Bill C-16 law, or no? Have we just...
No, they're just gone.
Are they hiding in our embassy in Canada?
No chance.
They get taken for re-education, and also they get feminized as well. That's part of it.
Of course. Yeah, I think I'm leading some of those battalions, the feminization battalions.
I mean, the thing is,
I go into frat houses and round people up.
No, but the issue is, Dylan, that if you're doing it and people like it, then it's not fun. I mean, it has to be forced.
I think the thing is, as a viewer, it was so fun to watch, like the dunks and stuff like that, right? And it was addictive. And I guess as a content creator, making the content was addictive as well because it's fun to make that kind of content, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now we just dunk on different kinds of people.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, like looking back now, it's kind of like some feminists sat in a bedroom ranting and making a few reductive arguments and making some mistakes, like whatever, But when you got someone advocating for like, the erasure of trans people or an ethno state, like that's a different kettle of fish, right?
Do you think we're shifting? Do you think we're shifting back? Do you think that? Because I know there's like a big thing about like neoliberalism is actually getting kind of cool now with like Destiny and some other people like trying to make it cool. The neoliberal podcast is blowing up and some other thing. Do you think we're moving to the center and then we're going to move back to the right?
Oh, I don't know. I feel very disenfranchised with like lefty politics. Like after the UK election, that was like a kick in the balls. And now in America, it's like, this could well be another kick in the balls. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like...
When Joe Biden gets in office, it's going to shift back.
Oh,
to talk about
God.
Joe Biden's leftism.
Well,
Joe Biden.
they've already called him Biden a communist, right? Like I saw an.
Oh yeah, they're already calling him a. Yeah. I saw that immediately when he ran too. That people were calling him a communist. It's insane what these people actually believe.
I don't know. I think that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
No, I mean, to be honest, I mean, by that standard, I would say Ben Shapiro is moving towards communism now as well. I mean, have you seen his recent tweet about the vaccine?
Oh my God, can you believe it? It's like he really understands Hegelian dialectics now. I mean, honestly, like he's going deep.
I
mean, I'm worried. I'm worried for the right, man. I mean, everybody on the right is moving towards communism.
Oh wow! I found a video of mine where I was wearing a Native American headdress. That's great.
Oh my God! I tell you what. Do you know what you should do one time? You should like go and you should react to like all your old cringe content. That'd be hilarious.
I've thought about doing that. Yeah. I mean, I've already over a period of month. Fuck, I don't know. I can't. I'm Bidening. Over a period of time now, I've been slowly like privating videos that I just are not me anymore. I don't stand behind them.
You know what you need to do?
But maybe I should do that.
You know what you need to do? You need to make a video and then not make it obvious that you're reacting to your own stuff. Like just in everything, just be like, this piece of shit really said these things, and like 10 minutes into the video, everybody just realized, wait, this is your own shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, that'd be hilarious.
What do you think would happen if there was an event like a Skeptic Con reunion, right? And like everybody came together, like everyone down to Phoenix or whatever his name was, the like little. I'm talking about the dude I forgot his name earlier. He's like the dude who was just like had the Egyptian cat at his thing, all the way down to him, just everybody. How do you think that would go?
Oh, dude, no. Wait. Hang on. You gotta understand, like, okay, are you talking about in real life or?
Yeah, like a real life con.
If Edgy Sphinx showed up in real life around half the people who used to be in the Skeptic community, that kid would be paced.
Really?
That dude, yes. Oh my fucking God, dude. Yes, absolutely. Holy shit. Oh my God. That dude is one of the main reasons why Bloodsport's even fucking happened.
Can you go into deeper detail?
He was fuck, it's such a long and complicated situation. He was the one who basically organized with some other kids to go and infiltrate into Kraut's server to try and get incriminating evidence of doxing, which they never fucking found. It was never real. None of it ever actually happened when people looked at it, but did cause the entire blow up. The whole reason why that is because he basically got exposed as a hardcore alt-righter and was bragging that he was trying to turn the Skeptic community into like
alt-right. I remember that. Yeah,
race realism. Right. So a lot of people got really mad at him, and I don't think they'd ever be cool with that. I think if Sargon ever came into a room and saw me there, he'd get pissed off and leave. He really fucking hates me now. But like most of us, I think we'd all get along fine. I mean, I see Chris Raygun and some black guy like usually 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, we hang out in real life all the time.
So can I just ask, because like, what's the deal with some black guy now? I look for his content from time to time, and it seems like he's just kind of doing entertainment type stuff now. Is that right? Or
that's all he wants to do. Yeah. I mean, he's just got no interest in. For him, it was always about just having fun. Like, wow, look at this weird, crazy shit. And back then, it was like all this crazy shit happening on college campuses. These weird, wacky professors and their feminist students. And it should have been harmless, but So
well, I think some of the on the face of it seemed harmless, right? But then when you start, when you react into like a bedroom feminist, that's one thing. But when you're talking about like I always go back to Bill C-16, but like legislation. You need to understand that deeply in order to comment on it, right? But people thought they could just put out a 10-minute video with some half-heard arguments from Jordan Peterson, and that was good enough. And that's when the problem came in. It's when they tried to tackle, I believe, larger, issues that were larger than them, right?
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, dude. Like, I tried to set some good examples of different ways in which you could address some things. But like, my influence is very, very small by comparison. You know, in the middle of like the golden age of the fucking skeptic community, I'm making videos critical of Stefan Molyneux and race realism and shit. And like, you know, at that point, I got the cold shoulder for a couple of months from some of my friends, and it was weird. It was very strange.
Because I guess all that mattered was owning the SJWs, right? And Stefan Molyneux was one of the people that was doing that.
Yep.
Damn. So what? So are you basically cut off from people like Sargon now? Is that kind of it in terms of your friendship?
To be honest with you, I really don't want to have anything to do with any of it. Like the friendships that I made there, people like Shu and Chris and all of them, I'm very thankful that I made those friendships, and I keep those friendships. But I don't want anything to do with any fucking community. I'm over it. I'm out of all that shit.
I saw you went for dinner with Vosh the other night.
I did, yeah. That was fun.
How was the guy?
He's very pleasant. You know, he's very much the same as he is on stream, although obviously he's not in like attack mode. But yeah, he and his lady just I had just a little bit of time in a layover, and they came down and we had some dinner and shot the shit. Very pleasant, very nice people. I was cackling my ass off because I think he and I both were, that we knew taking a selfie together was gonna piss some people off. I saw on a couple of alt-right boards that they pretty much shit their pants when they saw it.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the same kinds of alt-right boards, yeah, they shit their pants at anything certain people do, right? Like, you know, without I kind of automatically go to ableist language to describe it, but I don't want to do that. They you know, just spend all their time whining and complaining and posting again and again and again in a very you know, certain manner, you know. Sure.
Yeah, no, I think we are talking about the same one, yeah. And yeah, pretty much. Yep. But I was really happy though. I was really proud of myself because I made Vosh laugh pretty hard. I said that he would have to post a selfie to Twitter because I'm still currently banned on Twitter for I think like 20 more hours.
Oh yeah.
And it was right as we were leaving. I was like literally about to get on the elevator to take the Skybridge over to SeaTac, and he's like, I just got to know what got you suspended for a week from Twitter. I was like, oh, I just casually replied to somebody with "kill Whitey."
The thing is with that, and you know, like the algorithm just doesn't get it, right? Like even if it's a joke or a meme, like they'll just get rid of you like that, right?
Oh yeah, immediately. If you got that, they'll trigger. Same with the F word, the R word, the C word, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. They don't like those words.
And this was a really enlightening conversation. I got to get out of here. I got a Minecraft stream with Mindwaves in a little bit. So I really enjoyed talking to you, Jeff. Hopefully maybe in the future we can like make content together. That'd be a fucking trippy experience.
That would be a trippy experience. I mean, if we're talking about vaccines and this possibility, I'm gonna have to bounce too, Chud.
Yeah, no worries. That's cool. Thanks for popping by.
Yeah, I'm leaving as well.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
No worries.
Fuck you, Chud.
Yeah, catch you later. Cheers.
Man, never knew he didn't like vaccines. Can't wait to make that video with him. See you later.
Catch you later.